Hola, Brica! Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Taíno. I'm your host, Priscilla Colon, co-founder and creative here at Casareito, where our mission is to promote the Taíno language and culture. So I've gotten some questions from you about writing systems, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. It can be a little bit confusing, but I wanted to give you some background on why we use different types of writing systems, and then we're going to talk about all of the different types of Taíno writing systems that currently exist. So let's get started. So if you've studied different types of languages, you know that not all of the languages will follow our Roman alphabet, that is our ABCs. There are lots of different types of writing systems around the world, such as Russian Cyrillic, Arabic script, and even Mandarin Chinese characters. So sometimes when a language has a very different type of writing system that could be difficult to learn, teachers may use transliteration or romanization. That is a system that tells you which of the characters or scripts letters correspond to our Roman letters, our ABCs. So on the screen you will see a couple of examples, one in Arabic and one in Mandarin Chinese. So I know that hello in Arabic is marhaban because I can see the transliteration or romanization. I don't need to know what each of the Arabic script letters is, although I did study the alphabet, so I know a couple of these. The same thing goes for the Mandarin Chinese. I know that hello is ni hao, because the transliteration or romanization shows me which characters correspond to my ABCs. So what does this all have to do with Taíno? Well, the way we're learning Taíno is through a transliteration or romanization system. We're taking Taíno and using our ABCs to learn it. So for example, when I say dak toka bibi, you'll notice that we use our Roman alphabet. Or dakro dakat kuali, again, we use our Roman alphabet, our ABCs. And why do we do that? Well, transliteration and romanization is a tool that we can use to help new learners. So if you're at a novice low level, for example, just starting out in a language, it's going to be easier for you to learn the new language if you're using a writing system that you already know. The other thing is that it helps you gain proficiency much more quickly if you're using a romanization or transliteration than if you were trying to learn a brand new writing system from scratch. But of course, this also depends on your goals. What if you don't need to read the script? What if all you're doing is, for example, like we're doing, is speaking to each other in Taíno? Well, then at that point, you really don't need the script. The other thing is that right now, there aren't a lot of Taíno, let's say newspapers or books that write in a special script, so we don't have to learn the script right now. So that begs the question, does Taíno have a special writing system? The answer is yes. There are a few special writing systems for Taíno. So let's take a look at some of those. Taíno has a syllabary that was created by Miguel Sagué. He is the bohique or behique and founder of the Caney Spiritual Circle. Now, a syllabary is a set of images that represent syllables. Usually that's a consonant and a vowel, such as ba, be, bi, bo, bu, da, de, di, do, do, etc. Now, Miguel Sagué studied Maya glyphs and Taíno symbols to come up with his syllabary. You can see an example of his syllabary on Omniplot. And the way that the syllabary works is that there is one character for each of the consonants. And as the picture or the character or the glyph changes slightly, you can see the different syllables that it represents. But that is not the only Taíno writing system there is. So we also have the Nahuatl Taíno pictographic alphabet. This is the writing system that you see at the beginning of our Let's Talk Taíno videos. Now, the Nahuatl Taíno pictographic alphabet was created by the late Dr. Yare Melendez. She was the founder and teacher of the Nahuatl schools. Nahuatl schools are a system of schools on Boriquen that are teaching the new generation to speak Taíno. And these kids speak Taíno fluently. It is absolutely amazing to see. Now, Dr. Yare Melendez collaborated on the creation of the Taíno Boriquenaiki book, which we use for our lessons. And if you go to omniplot.com, you can get a downloadable font. That is what I use. You'll notice that a lot of the Taíno symbols for the Nahuatl pictographic alphabet were actually derived from the petroglyphs that our ancestors left behind. Those are the stone carvings with symbols that were important to them. You can see a lot of the symbols also on pottery and other crafts that you may find in historical museums. One cool thing is that Omniplot also posts entire paragraphs in the Nahuatl pictographic alphabet, so you can read a paragraph in the sample script. You also have the available transliteration and romanization, so you can follow along. And there's a cool sample audio, so you can hear how Javier Hernandez pronounces each of the letters in the alphabet. There's also text available in English and Spanish with translations. But wait, there's more! Javier Hernandez actually just published a keyboard available for iPhones. So now you can download the keyboard to your iPhone and type in a brand new Taíno script. This is a little different from the Nahuatl symbols that I just talked about. What I find kind of cool about this script is that if you look at the vowels of the script, they're kind of little symbols that you put up on top. They're not quite the same as letters. And I see what you did, Javier. They're very similar to how Arabic uses vowels in their script. So were we the first to invent Taíno scripts in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s? Absolutely not. We actually have evidence that there were scripts available way back 600 years ago. I was reading Taínos and Caribs by Sebastián Rubio Lamarche. He has this book available in both English and Spanish, so I highly suggest that you check it out. He mentioned Agueybaná's library, so that got me curious. What is Agueybaná's library? So Agueybaná's library, also known as the Nazario Collection, is a collection of about 800 carved statuettes or rocks. These rocks have some carvings on them that look like a writing system. Recently, scientists have dated these to about 600 years ago. And the lead scientists noticed that there is gold and red paint remains within the little carvings of this, what looks like a writing system. They cannot attribute this quote-unquote writing system to any other American civilization, such as the Aztec or the Mayans. It is very unique. Now, it's hard right now to figure out what these are. They're still very early in their research. So please, let's not jump to conclusions. The only thing we can say is that there is evidence of a writing system dated from 600 years ago, very unlike anything else found in the Americas, and there was a huge collection that was actually hidden. So the story behind the collection is that a woman on her deathbed told the priest, Nazario, where this collection of rocks was hidden. It had been entrusted in her family. For a long time, no one believed the priest, and it was only until 2019 that it was even proven that these rocks came from Boriquen, Puerto Rico, and really were dated to about 600 years ago. So there's a huge mystery. In short, it could be that our Taíno ancestors had already started developing their own writing system. That seems to be the case, especially amongst civilizations that do a lot of trading and commercial work That's how it starts. So pretty soon, I'm sure we'll find out more information. So I began this video talking about how we're using transliteration and romanization because for right now, there's not a lot written in Taíno. This just makes the time we live in so cool because eventually we will be able to write in our own scripts to each other in Taíno. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video on all kinds of writing systems. I'm excited about what the future holds for Taíno. In the meantime, make sure that you take a look at all of the resources we have available. Subscribe to the channel so you get all of the notifications that I'm sending out. You can join our sister group, Taíno Corner, to continue the conversation. We do all kinds of chats on Facebook, and we'd love to see you there. Check out our kids book because that is the way that we're going to get the new generations to learn a little bit of Taíno. In the meantime, Tay Karaya Guaitiao Nagu.